Hello and welcome. I am a hotel AI expert with extensive experience in modern hospitality operations and performance support. I am pleased to welcome all students of Europe Hotel School to your online learning journey. We look forward to supporting your professional growth in the hospitality industry.
So, we've all had that feeling, right? You finish a fantastic training program, you're fired up, you've got all these new skills, and you're ready to go. But what happens next week or next month? Let's be honest, the end of a training course isn't the finish line. It's actually the starting line. The real work is making sure all that great knowledge actually sticks and shows up in your day-to-day work.
Because here's the reality. Training just can't be a one-time event. If you don't actively work with that new knowledge, it starts to fade, and it fades faster than you'd think. To really make a difference, to really elevate guest service, learning has to be part of a bigger, living system, a cycle of constant improvement.
Okay, so how do we do that? How do we keep the momentum from that training going? Well, you need a system, and the very first piece of that puzzle is what we call appraisal. I want you to think of it as a bridge, the essential link that connects what you learned in a training room to what you actually do out on the hotel floor.
Now let's get really clear on what we mean by performance appraisal. This isn't about some dusty old form you fill out once a year. No way. This is a structured, continuous process. Its whole point is to look at an employee's performance, measure it against our standards, and, most importantly, see if the skills we taught in training are actually making a difference in their daily work.
You see, a really good appraisal shows us exactly what's landing. Are people's behaviors actually changing? Have they truly mastered that new skill, or do they just know the theory? Is their attitude toward guests and colleagues improving? It's all about finding tangible proof that the training is being applied where it matters most. And this part is absolutely crucial. The entire mindset behind appraisal has to be about development, not punishment. We're not trying to catch people doing things wrong. We're trying to help them grow, to support their career journey, and to keep them engaged. It's a positive, forward-thinking tool, period.
So if the appraisal tells us what's happening with performance, then feedback is what tells us how to improve it. You can think of feedback as the engine that powers this entire cycle. It's what takes a simple observation and turns it into a real, tangible opportunity to get better.
But let's be real. Not all feedback is helpful. There's a huge difference between saying something vague like, "You need more confidence," and something specific like, "In that last guest interaction, I noticed you smiled and used their name, which was fantastic." Let's talk about how to bring that same great energy even when the front desk gets busy. You see, one is a judgment. The other is about observable behavior. It's constructive, respectful, and something a person can actually work on.
And the best feedback is always a two-way street. It's a conversation, not a lecture. You start by sharing what you observed, but then you open it up. You ask the employee to reflect on their own performance. You talk about challenges together. This whole approach builds so much trust and gives your team members a real sense of ownership over their own professional growth.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about how this helps individual employees. But the real power, the real magic, kicks in when we use these insights to make the entire organization smarter. This is what we call closing the loop.
Just imagine, when you look at the appraisal data from your whole team, you start to see patterns. You might notice that 3 different people are struggling with the new reservation system, or maybe the entire breakfast crew could use a refresher on upselling specialty coffees. These aren't just isolated incidents. They are incredibly valuable strategic insights. And here's where it all comes together. Those insights, they feed directly back to the very beginning of our cycle. The real-world performance data tells you exactly what to focus on in your next round of training. It guarantees that your training budget and time are spent on things that are relevant and will actually make a difference. When you connect training so directly to performance reviews, you achieve one incredibly important thing. You build a culture of accountability. Your team sees that the skills they're taught in training are the exact same skills they're being evaluated on. It sends a clear message that learning isn't just a nice-to-have, it's a fundamental part of the job.
So now let's put it all together. What we've been describing isn't just a list of steps. It's a powerful, continuous, self-improving loop. We call it the cycle of excellence.
It all starts with great training. That's step 1. This is where we build the foundation and set clear expectations for what excellent performance looks like.
Next, step 2 is appraisal. This is where we measure how that training is actually being applied in the real world, turning theory into practice. Then comes step 3, feedback. This is the engine, the constructive conversation that turns our observations into a concrete plan for improvement. And finally, we close the loop with step 4. We take all those insights we've gathered and use them to make the next training session even more focused and effective. Then the cycle starts all over again, but this time, it's smarter.
And when you commit to this cycle, the results are amazing. You're not just doing training, you're building a culture of excellence. This system makes learning stick, it supports the careers of your people, it directly improves your service quality, and honestly, it just makes for a happier, more engaged team.
So as you move forward in your own careers, I want you to think about this. The question isn't just, what training should I take? The real question is, how can I be an active part of this cycle? Because mastering this loop is truly the secret to unlocking incredible performance. For you, for your future team, and for your entire hotel.